For the first time in British history, a sitting Prime Minister has been questioned under police caution as part of the Metropolitan Police investigation into 12 parties that took place in Downing Street during lockdown. 88 people, including Boris Johnson, received a police questionnaire. And thanks to a leak to ITV, we've seen the contents of that questionnaire. It includes this: you do not have to say anything, but it may harm your defence if you do not mention when questioned something which you subsequently rely on in court. Anything you do say may be given in evidence. That statement means that the questionnaire is equivalent in law to a formal police interview. The leak also revealed the questions respondents had to answer. They include: did you participate in a gathering at 10 Downing Street? What was the purpose of your participation? Did you interact with or undertake any activity with other persons present? What time did you attend? What time did you leave? And what reasonable excuse did you have for attending? They're questions which don't sound too tough, they don't sound too tricky to answer, and former Met Chief Superintendent Del Babu was unimpressed.
Pretty bland questions. I think a lawyer would perhaps give you a get-out-of-jail card response to all of those questions. And that's why it doesn't seem to be a particularly effective way of investigating the parties that happened at Downing Street. What you would expect is somebody to sit down with the individual, go through the questions.
Johnson, of course, did hire a lawyer specifically to help him complete that questionnaire, and he has already returned the form to the police. It means he becomes the first ever Prime Minister to be interviewed under caution. He does have one predecessor who came close. That was Tony Blair. In 2007, he was interviewed by the police as a witness during the Cash for Honours scandal, but Blair's was an informal interview, and he said that if police did want to interview him under caution, he would have to resign.
I mean, let's be real. Many prime ministers should have been interviewed under a police caution. I think Blair should have been interviewed under a police caution. And it's huge news. And by the way, Blair, like you said, I think Blair was on record as saying that if he was interviewed under caution, he would have resigned, I think. So there's a significant difference. And I think the big story for me is that politically, Boris Johnson and the Conservatives don't think it's a big deal. That for me is a major point. But the idea that somehow he's behaving in a way which is unprecedented in British politics, yes and no. You know, I think the manner in which the Blair ministry operated from 1997 till 2007 did some pretty bad things. And if people go, oh God, Aaron's trashing Blair, Google Drapergate. You know, Derek Draper, the cash for access, super early on in the Blair government. I'm not even talking about Iraq. You know, you have people on the record, special advisors saying that they are, and lobbyists saying that they are changing policy in the interests of big multinationals like Tesco. They're saying that. They're saying we've changed this piece of legislation because we're being paid by these people to do it. You know, two journalists, Greg Palast in particular, great stories, I think, in The Observer at the time and also maybe Newsnight. But this is a matter of record. And I think clearly that didn't involve Blair in terms of he should have been questioned with a police caution. I think Iraqi most certainly, I think he should have faced criminal charges, Michael. You know, we're talking about, well, since 1945, it has been illegal to wage wars of aggression. That's true. What the hell was Iraq? Was it not a war of aggression, really? There weren't any Iraqis involved in 9/11. There certainly weren't any WMD. Of course it was a war of aggression. It's the idea that Boris Johnson is, you know, uniquely malevolent and, you know, that nobody previously in British politics, like Margaret Thatcher or Tony Blair, have been involved in criminal activity. I think, you know, even if you were born yesterday, you'd find that hard to swallow.
No, I agree. I mean, as we've said, you know, over and over again, this does matter because Boris Johnson was imposing those laws on everyone else. If he does get a fine, he's not going to struggle to pay it. There were many people who did get fines who will struggle to pay it because it was up to £10,000. Obviously, if you're not someone as wealthy as Boris Johnson, someone who went to Eton, someone who I'm sure will inherit loads of money, also has a well-paid job because he's Prime Minister, you know, there are real problems here. It really does matter. But as Aaron says, I absolutely agree. There are many prime ministers who should have been interviewed under caution, not least Tony Blair for invading Iraq.